Naldo, this is long overdue.
Yes, very, very long.
Welcome. This is the first time I see Naldo in person. I don't know Naldo. Naldo is tall as hell. It's very intimidating. Can't talk a lot of things about these fellas and them. For people who don't know, Naldo and Jude was running the Alternative Perspective podcast. I did tell you, Naldo, many times people come and tell me, oh, you're always talking about this alternative perspective, and then you're talking about them, and now we don't see them now in front of them in recording. So we had to find out where it went.
Oh, good. The thing is, so I think I want to reveal this after Saturday, as I was telling you, right? But we had to take a little hiatus, and as I would say, as a good leader, sometimes you have to know when you have to step aside, or you have to pull things, pull things down, for lack of better words.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for the greater good.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I missed, because one of the things I always talk about is I remember when I first started off recording, my view was much more, or the topics I looking at was much more political. When I hear all them, man, I want to done that. I said, well, let me stick to the culture. I enjoy listening to all of distill them things much more than I enjoyed talking through it myself,
The thing is with us, for both of us, we worked in traditional media for a significant period of time, and I think we also had the opportunity in working in state media.
Right.
And being unbiased and working in state media, we saw a lot.
Right.
We heard a lot. I'm telling you.
So you should call it inside perspective.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
So with seeing that, and we also because we used to get in trouble in work with some of the things we would say on air, right? Being radio presenters and whatnot.
From the podcast or from
from
media?
From where we were working.
Right.
And I could get some of them things and as you heard from watching the podcast, we never had a side in terms of
it was very
BNM or
balanced.
UNC, and that's how I am.
Balanced.
I in life and anything, I don't have favorites. Right? And like this, some people might find weird, but I don't have favorites at all in anything now. So it's very hard for me to support a football team, to support a basketball team, or a political side.
Gotcha.
Right? So I remember there was a time when PP came in power and they were discussing making building an airport somewhere around Central.
I remember.
So we were talking about it on the radio. This was me doing the morning show on our next station, because you worked on another station, right?
Right.
And my last comment closing off was, them an airport.
Oh yeah, that could be bad. That could be bad.
And so in the station, they have the lines that the normal callers would call on, and then it have a line lower down now. You start to see that line blink.
When that line blink is problems,
Yeah. You start to see that line blink. But see me in the office when I finish, please.
So they would listen that much?
Yeah. And the thing is, even sometimes not the management listening, but it had people listening.
I see, and they would them.
And they would be like, gotcha. Because at the end of the day, we paying all their salaries.
Of course.
Right? We paying all their bills. They can't talk like that.
Of course.
And I was always against that, though. Because I believe in unbiased media. Right? That is something I believe in. I understand sometimes when people
You believe in it as an ideal, or you believe that we have it?
No, I believe in it as an ideal, because we do have it. We really
you
don't.
Remember Robert Amar coming and talk to some men on here?
Right.
Like I paid all the salary, all the car,
Yeah. And because the thing is, and people don't understand that no matter how, and this is my opinion, I was hard to say it's my opinion, just, to deal with the legalese of it. Right. But no matter how unbiased you might find, CNC3 might look and TV6 might look, all of them want advertising money when it comes down to election campaign time. You understand? When you had to pay $3,000, $4,000 for a 30-second spot, and we have an election in, you say 3 months. And if I realize, but wait now, but like all the clung in me, and I say, well, you're going on, we ain't sending no ads. You understand what I'm saying?
And sending the ads by a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. We were sending about this one alone. Then everybody started to sing for this up,
Well, I noticed a trend, right, where a lot of the newer, or like the blogs or the podcasts or people like yourself who have experience with it, they talk about or they look at articles, and I guess that's why I listen to you all so much, because I might read an article, plenty of what I read I take at face value.
Right.
And then I might hear you might call me a message and say, hey, you ever thought of this, you ever thought of that? And I realize that a lot of people who doing newish media now, pointing out the biases of the newspaper, for instance. Your belief is that bias comes from where money coming from, or you feel like media houses putting their weight behind political parties?
I think is where the money coming from.
Okay, business.
Yeah, I think is business. I don't necessarily think yes, they might have one or two people who have their personal, and I think that is very important for us to remember that certain people have their personal feelings towards probably whatever political party, or whatever. Right. And as much as we would like to say a long time that should never get involved, we not there anymore. We are in an era of opinions. Like I always tell people, before Facebook and whatnot. Your opinion is to keep to yourself, or keep to you and your friends.
Barbershop.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's smaller groups.
But once we had Facebook and you could write a status and then everything else came, people could have given their opinion. People became more opinionated or ready to give their opinions publicly.
And documented too.
Exactly.
Yeah, your opinion no longer fleeting. It's in ink.
Yeah, so the thing is, you would find some journalists might have a slant, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's not something I necessarily have an issue with. I wish people would come out and say, this, I mean, it's idealistic, but if you just say, hey, as a UNC supporter, it's easier for me to read what you say. Because it's hard for me to get a balanced view. No. As you say, that proliferation of opinions is, I had to read everybody just to get, you know what I mean? It's just it's real work.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody tell me, listen, we for UNC, I for PNM, so I could just read them too.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're so small. No, because that's it. In the States, when you have CNN who pushing one way, Fox are pushing the next, they could have enough supporters to keep them alive. But if somebody come out and say, I would just say Newsday that I am a UNC supporter, and PNM people decide, hey, now well, we're not going to buy Newsday again. Or we're not going to put money by Newsday again.
You have a problem.
You have a huge problem. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think a lot of the things we're going to discuss today, what makes it difficult in Trinidad is because of the size.
Size of the market.
Yeah, the size of the market.
Yeah,
and that's things you know about.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Small markets, it's tricky.
Yeah,
and I think you're right. Like the fact that they answer to business or where the money coming from. Sting me and you know, we run businesses before. We had a discussion before we started about sponsors and business, and it's very, very tricky.
You had to know how to bob and weave.
Yeah, you have to bob and weave. You had to bob and weave. And I guess it's up to us now because as the layman who just looking for information, I had to be able to decipher this thing.
Right.
What's your opinion on newer media? You think newer media now, like the podcasts you're seeing in the space and stuff now, or bloggers and things, you think they're doing a better job, or you feel it's more the same?
You see, the thing is, where they're going to get the information from, and that's the problem. Because, and a lot of the newer people who blogging and doing podcasts or whatever, most of the time they would turn to traditional media to get the information. And if it already slanted there, then obviously you're coming with a slant.
Right.
And it's something Jude and I spoke about for eons, in that a lot of people, especially in Trinidad, grew up on CNN.
Right.
CNN is left-leaning, sometimes even far left. So when you hear people utterances here, you know it's only because they pick it up from CNN.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So people feel a particular way about Trump or the parties out there based on what they get on CNN. And they would come here, they would have a podcast here or wherever. Even in the States, they have their podcast based on just what they pick up in the traditional media, which is already tainted now.
Yeah.
How much people going out there and actually doing the journalism on their own or whatever?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I'm in the same boat because my first, like when I'm looking for what to talk about this week, my first thing is the newspapers.
Right.
Guardian, Express, Newsday. It's just the era I come from.
Right.
But as you talk about CNN, it's something that I also observe and listen to all they talk about. It is something, I always just wonder about that, right? And that's why I enjoy listening to all the fellas talk, because while you might find that we repeat some of the rhetoric you might find in a left-leaning place like CNN, right? The way we live is a lot more Republican than people might be willing to admit. The religious things that drive the way we make decisions, the conservative views on anything controversial. We have a more conservative view than not on most issues that so it's like we live in one way, we're saying things that we feel is the right thing to say, or maybe based on immigration, because we have family living abroad. So now when you see a new party in power in the States and mass deportation is a question, it might shadow a lot of the other things that you might actually agree with that this administration.
I mean, but at the same time, in the last 20 years, before what Trump doing now, Obama deported the most people, right? So, I mean, we going to forget that? But
CNN, it's how you sell it.
Exactly, CNN didn't push that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? CNN didn't push that, so most people don't know that. But if you just go back and you Google it and you check it, you understand what I'm saying? You would see that information. Right. So that is why, you tend to, the media it's really having a major, and I would say negative impact on how we see things in the world. But into that same thing you're talking about with the states and their conservative views like compared to, I think they have brainwashed immigrants and black people so much, and especially black people,
Right.
that even though a lot of their ideals might be conservative, they believe that they should be indebted to the Democrats. No, I don't think they should be indebted to anyone.
Yeah.
I think you
have to wait to hold your vote.
Exactly.
You have to make people play for it. Or
Exactly.
Pay for it.
Yeah. And that's the name of the game. I always tell people, if you could call yourself, let me just say a party loyalist,
Sure.
right? Whether it be here or away, then you're not a patriot.
Right.
You understand? You can't be a patriot and be a party loyalist, in my opinion.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right? Because at the end of the day, going to have some time where your party is going to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing or not uphold something that you feel about.
course.
And you should be able to say, hey, here what's going on. I ain't really like that, you know. Or we not on that. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in Trinidad and Tobago, though. Because, I mean, we have seen it. We would talk, if we talk something, let me say the PP do, well, not PP, but UNC do, or UNC did, people will come and say, we are PNM.
I remember I shared heavily on a UNC Facebook page one time as strong UNC men.
Right, yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I get episode by episode.
Right.
Literally 1 week as a PNM, the next week as a UNC.
You understand? And why we can't see things in this in any situation that this person is just calling out the shipperness. And it's the same thing, even if you're, let me say you're a PNM member, you're a party card.
Right.
You should be able to tell the executive, we nearly agree with this, you know? You see that
or
steward
the
you're
reverse.
shoving on with you there?
Yeah, or the reverse too. I
Yeah.
think we have a difficulty praising. So if the UNC say or do something that you're in agreement with, why we can't just say, well, that's a good idea, that's a good policy. Even I'll say, hey, we should borrow that from them fellas. Them fellas come up with something good. Even if they're PNM loyalists. I have one exception to what you're saying, I agree with 100%, but there's the person who benefits directly from one of them parties. And I don't have a difficulty with them calling themselves party loyalists. And I always remember checking a partner of mine in Grandy. And when we driving into he said, call me when you turn the corner. He living up in a little tracer. And as I turn the corner, I call him, I say, right by the corner. And I see, bow, street lights, come on. And then when I reach down the road, I reach upstairs, but he turned off the street lights in the house. Oh my.
Well,
state run.
Well, the man must be saying he's saving his state money because...
Well, he must be.
Yeah, because
the state will not turn it off, right?
Right?
So more efficient.
Yeah, more
So when he
efficiency.
tell me he's a party loyalist, I can't vex with a man who doing that. I think the difficulty is, again, when it happening behind closed doors.
Well, the thing is, so I understand your point because I always tell people that too. When you see people say they're hanging on to UNC, they're hanging on to PNM.
Yeah, they might be benefiting from something that you don't know.
Would have benefit, and not necessarily something illegal or not necessarily something immoral, but boy, that person, that MP might have been the person who helped your child in some way. You didn't have
HDC house, you get somebody in a school.
Right, you understand what I'm saying,
course,
right? So I could understand that to some extent, but my problem is when you hold that position and then
regardless.
And then you can't even call out your own party. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think, like the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago right now, the only people that could make a change right now because of how it is in Trinidad is PNM loyalists telling the PNM executive,
Just make change.
hey, listen, boy, what's going on
You're not
here?
accepting that.
You understand what I'm saying? Because when the opposition talk, them just making noise and blah, 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 and they will make that statement, they just making noise like everybody in the country not seeing what's going on.
I don't like it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that makes me very uneasy. You know me.
But that is what's going to make the difference. What is going to make the difference is if you claim to be part of this party, you need to be able to call out the people above.
Right.
You can't say, well, I'm not going to say nothing on social media to make my party look bad, or I'm not going to say nothing, you understand, to get them
You
vexed.
think people agitating behind closed doors, like the
They are.
themselves?
Yeah, I mean, look, we see what went on with Fitzgerald Hines with the Lavantil. But even when they had the meeting up in Lavantil, and they say all who support, and the woman, like,
they're not going there.
nah, where she was. You understand? And I mean, obviously, these are things that you see now in the PNM that we're not accustomed seeing.
Of course. Yeah,
because as you said in your last
it's
episode,
a new,
if it's one thing with PNM,
it requires.
they just keep the
it
problems quiet and inside.
I always feel like when you see, there are some few instances you might remember where it had these little things. It's usually when the leader changing. if you see this little bit of thing leaking out from them, I feel it is turmoil on the
But
inside
no,
because they're so good at keeping it closed.
But the thing is, some could say that this is probably the work of Dr. Keith Rowley in terms of, you remember he was kind of one of the first people to do the NEP and calling out Manning.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And now it kind of spinning back now. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
So is it that he was the person to introduce it?
Right.
And now it kind of working against him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because remember, he was the one who called out Manning when he talked about he see him on some stairs.
I remember about that. It's not a long thing. Them fellas went a good little back and forth.
Right?
A good little back
Yeah. So
once power changing in PNM, this is leak out because when it was time for, well, at the time of Chambers, it was a man passed away. But Chambers was a blessed man going in. You know, there's a chosen one. Like
Right,
like your boy now.
but,
You know, the chosen one is the chosen one. Gold, blue eye baby. But again, somebody else want to be blue eye baby too. So you have some of it and you see any little. Once it started come out, to me, I always want to be like in one of them meetings. See how bad it really is.
well, boy, the thing is, fortunately for me, because contrary to what people might believe, I know way more PNM people and people in high positions in PNM than I know UNC people. Right? So, you know, I just get some of the utterances.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that I wouldn't want to put out here.
Of course.
You know, but, and the ship shaky. They'll come and tell you, nah,
I like
Yeah.
that. I find all ships in politics. It would be better for me if it's a good, healthy amount of conflict and infighting in political parties rather than because you know the under the whip or the toe in the line. I remember you all talking an episode about that. That make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I find and again uncomfortable from the standpoint of there are people who I know like yourself, right, or even Jude, who have good ideas, have good energy, who understand the space and might, like I contributed in my job now, I do in a podcast, I might be able to contribute politically, but I cannot join no organization where you can imagine we come in to talk now and you can't disagree with nothing I say. I tell you up front, Naldo, anything you say you disagree, we start over.
It done. It done. As it's,
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the benefit?
Because that's where growth is. That is exactly where growth is. And it comes from the same point I was making. If you can't tell your leaders, and the kind of bad or shameful thing is, that's just the regular man you talking about. When people in your cabinet can't talk to you.
That's the inner circle. That's the disciples.
And let me be real. And this is something that we would have spoken about on the podcast, is that the MPs, what they're supposed to do, and some of them do it, right? And big up Foster Cummins. I'll always big up Foster Cummins because...
Yeah, I remember you also
he is one of the people that is in the community pretty often. And if he's not there, his office is very active.
That's true.
I don't know him. I never met him personally.
Okay.
Right? Never. Right? Obviously, because I don't want that kind of... I don't want anybody say affiliated or whatever the case may be, right? I prefer to live like that. But if, just imagine an MP in a constituency and you hear the issues of the people or whatever the case may be. But when you come to tell the people on top, because now they have to go to cabinet to make the changes, nah. God is your put boy.
It's equivalent to a sales manager and listen to the salespeople.
Yeah,
you know, it's a salesman coming and tell you, boy, this thing inside. And you just tell them, nah.
Yeah.
And if you do that publicly, you lost your work.
Exactly, right? Go out and go out and sell.
Yeah. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, but the problem is you tell me go out there and sell, but then when I don't make the sales, then you're beating me. Yeah.
And I can't get my commissions either.
Yeah. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, of course. So you're saying Foster Cummins over Stuart Young if you had to pick?
No, I wouldn't say that, to be honest with you. I used to say Penny.
Right.
And I think we would have said this on the podcast already. And the only reason I would say not Foster Cummins, I think he needs more time. And I think he needs more time in the whole political sphere. But I think we used to say Penny, but boy, I
trying to trap him all. I try. But let me give my opinion on Penny as you think about it. I like again, you take it that I take in things at face value. What you see is what you get for me until I learn different.
Right.
And I find that you could see through her social media how active she is in the community and how respected she is by people. They had a little interaction with her from a business standpoint. Authoritarian, like hell, I'm flowing, she's in charge.
Yeah.
When she walk in her room, she in charge. And when she sit down at the table, she's absolute leader, which is worrying me a little bit. But I think the age factor is one that I always, in other words, if I have two equal candidates, I will always pick the younger one. And I don't know if it makes complete sense.
But the thing is, I know that is something you champion, but here's my thing. If you can, because you need the experience,
Of course.
right? Especially when you're dealing with other countries. I think that is important. One of the things we had to look at in terms of somebody who's going to talk and bargain or whatever and represent Trinidad and Tobago outside internationally, you need people who understand that.
Of course.
Right?
A certain amount of fearlessness too.
Right.
She definitely has.
So I will give her that. But if she's in the position and hires the people below her, because let's be real, it's the people below here, the people on the ground, the people closer to the ground,
Right.
if they are younger and they could mesh it there. So she has the experience, the know-how and whatnot on top there. And then you have younger people, you know, like just say like hands, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Blue eye baby.
Right there. You know? And you have people like that below, then I think it could work. Right? But if you put somebody who do have that experience and don't know how to communicate, how to bargain, because I think one of the things people do understand in Trinidad and Tobago, a prime minister really and truly should be somebody with a lot of business head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Everything is some business, especially international relations.
Yeah,
It's
at the end of the day,
difficult.
no matter where you do, is a transaction, it's a business
100%.
transaction, whether it be financial,
Of course.
social.
You had to deal with the men in oil and gas, you had to deal with the men in the finance, and them men sharp. They
Exactly.
put in the best and brightest at the head of the companies.
So, I mean, and one of the things is, kudos to Dr. Kidrauli. You know, he served. He has served well. You know, well, I don't know to say he served well.
Yeah,
but
he served well. He
served.
served for well and for a long time.
I don't know about
Well by my standard.
right? But the thing is, Dr. Kidrauli, one of the longest standing politicians we have in the country. Probably, I think he probably had the longest service. But never having that experience in the private sector, I think could
be a
work to,
disadvantage.
to his detriment.
I could see that. But the way I see it is that, for instance, my thing is not necessarily to get rid of a penny or get rid of a role. I talk them fellas any chance I get, but I think that and we'll talk some entertainment too. I'm waiting for this man to come here to talk politics for a long time. Let him bear with me. We'll get to the entertainment part. But I feel like as a culture, we have a tendency for the people who have the most experience to stay around in the position for a very long time. And we don't really lean towards succession and mentorship kind of model.
So I agree.
Yeah. So you put the young person there. Let me use Foster as an example, and whatever the position might be, there's an opportunity to have him well groomed by my age, by 40 something years old. You're middle age,
Right.
Sometimes we wait till you reach. When we will put Foster when he's 60,
Right.
You understand?
So the thing is, and I hope there's no knock on you,
Sure.
right? But in Trinidad and Tobago, in our culture, we don't have good leaders. We have good managers,
Right.
but not good leaders. Because a leader supposed to be preparing for the successor,
Yeah.
right? A leader, you understand?
I've
There's
heard-
always say leaders eat last.
Yeah.
The leaders make sure that everybody else is good, and then leaders eat last.
Yeah.
So
Great leaders replace themselves too.
right. So that's the thing. So we have people who manage people below them, and then okay, you reach retirement age, what to do now?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think, and that's in our culture. So you'd see it in entertainment, you would
You
see
see it everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
In business,
So-
it's the same thing. If you look at state boards or private boards, you see men who, not saying they're not good, they're the best.
And that's it. They might be the best.
Yeah.
But then when you don't train anybody, what happens? Everything falls
Yeah, I
down.
call it the Manchester United model.
Right.
You know what I mean? For those who might be interested. Because he just stays so long that you end up now or the Patriots. As a Patriots fan, and the Super Bowl coming up. Patriots stay with Brady and Belichick for so long.
Yeah.
Now you're going to face 20 years of drought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't, and I guess a part of it, where I give grace is that, like you say in the beginning, we're small. So sometimes finding that successor or even stepping aside, because that, I wonder about that sometimes. Because, sometimes you get stuck in especially people who like to talk like me. You're in your 40s, you're talking like you're in your 40s, and you might talk that way until you're in your 60s.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, I
And
understand what
sometimes
you're
you doesn't
saying.
realize you get to be the old one. And then what the hell I go do? Because I want to do something. I like doing this. So do I have to now step aside just because? Or
Well,
can
I mean-
continue my career to my 80s?
Well, the thing is, look at it like this. I remember one of the earliest episodes of your podcast that I listened to.
Right.
I remember you had Zachary there as the producer, whatever the case may be. So he was getting involved. And the thing is, I'm sure he knows that there's an opportunity there for him if he wants to learn how to podcast, if he wants to learn how to use the camera, right? But the thing is, these people actually opening the doors for these people to come and learn. You understand? Or are they, clutching and holding on, clenching on to the power or the position?
Yeah.
I mean...
From the outside looking in, I always feel like they are. But the truth is that if you talk to enough people on whether it's the politics, the entertainment, if you talk to enough people, you find it how people who say, once you're around this person, he's get all the information. But maybe it's the blue-eyed boys, It's
right,
maybe
exactly. And that's the next thing is...
And sometimes it's those who would do their bidding to it.
And right, those who do their bidding, but also who has access to them.
No,
you understand?
True.
Does everybody have access to you? That's the next thing.
Yeah.
So obviously the people who have access might get the information.
Right.
But are those people, because it has some people who kind of kiss up. But one of the reasons that is kiss up is because they know they might be too good.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And what they do, so the next
want the opportunities to come next.
Exactly. The next best way to advance is to kind of kiss up.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I know I'm not talented, no boy, but if I stick close to the coach might like me. No. Yeah, those things might do. But let me read when they go out on
it's doggy dog.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
And I love that. That's the only things I love about, other countries, first world countries. The meritocracy is based on meritocracy and not cronyism and nepotism now, boy.
Plenty of that too, but I hear you. I think
but it
bigger
have more.
markets,
Exactly.
So the size lends a lot of that.
But here,
you could find competitive spaces. Or you could find spaces where you just come up because he's Naldo and people know you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as we in the political sphere still, we're looking at an election here.
Yeah.
Which I think we take long to do this, but it couldn't be a better time. So I think the PNM have their thing going on, and we're waiting to see where that falls. I see up to last night, I was seeing more screening going on and things advancing.
Right.
What's your take on where UNC is today as that? You have two main competitors, regardless, right? So let me deal with two of them first. What's your take on where they are?
And just remember...
Ready for Kamala to step down. I put that out there because, again, I was thinking that when Rowley stepped down, she would just say, all right, cool, next.
Right.
And put a youth too. And see a young battle.
So, all right. So, just remember first to talk about the two-party thing.
Please.
Right after. But, in my opinion, from looking from my side of things, it doesn't look like UNC is in a good place.
Right.
However, a major problem we have in the political landscape in Trinidad and Tobago is these politicians talk to they talk to the chorus, they talk to the choir. And that's the problem. Now the thing is, we could sit down here how much we want and say we would like Kamala to step down, but clearly the people in her party, the people, the members of the party want her there. You understand what I'm saying?
You feel so?
Yeah, of course, because when Russian Party went up and even personally for me, I think one of the best people, and it could be my bias because I've met him in person and he's a wonderful person, is Vasant.
Oh yeah.
You right?
The thing about the politics, right? Before I go on, any one of them you meet in person is great people. Though.
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
You meet some of them who you find.
Of course, I met Stuart in person and it wasn't one of the best.
I find these fellas charismatic when they want to be. They ain't getting where they is without that. But I wonder sometimes when you say like the party want them there. Because the price to pay for going against a political leader is beheaded.
Right.
So how much of it is I really want you there or I can't say I don't want you?
No, but we're not even talking about on that level. We're talking about just when they go into to have the election, the internal elections. The base.
Party card holders.
It is huge. She beats everybody real bad.
Okay,
right? Now, the thing is, as we were talking about before, I have some family who is close with Ms. Bissessa and them, right? Kamala Prasad Bissessa and them. And apparently, she is an angel to them. You understand what I'm saying? And if there are a lot of people that she interacts with like that, like for instance, I think is my uncle, father-in-law, I think he died. And they were in power. And she took the time to be at the house and at the funeral or whatever the case may be while they were in power. You understand what I'm saying?
It should be hard to beat on those things.
Right. And so at the end of the day, her membership
loves she have
her.
The cachet.
Yeah. No, the thing is, it's for them to sit down and realize, okay, we need more than the membership to win the election. Yeah. And that's the problem. They only cater, and PNM is doing it too, they only cater to speak to their membership and they totally disregard the...
Yeah, that's bother me.
Yeah,
they must forget they're working for we.
Yeah,
they think they're working for we. Both parties.
The thing is, I'll give you a perfect example of this. with Dr. Rowley. And this is what I tell you, for me, I have been tied to this, I've been in press conferences, I've been in all these things. And I always remember there was a local government election, and a journalist asked, he said, Dr. Rowley, well, so far it's looking like you're all winning or whatever the case may be. But it had very low voter turnout. Right. And his question, right, is, how you know that? You work in the EBC?
Yeah. He's get bad. He's
right? No, the thing is, when we go out there on election night, and as they bring in all the tallies or whatever the case may be, you start to get an idea of what things looking like. You know what it was before, you understand?
Yeah, and the experience. Yeah.
Exactly. When you have to give reports and you have to call back to the station to give, and it's okay. Normally after 5 hours of tallying, we just see 5,000 votes. But after 5 hours or 6 hours this year, we see in 2,000. So clearly the voter turnout is lower, right? And he told him, and he asked, how you know that you work in the EBC? I was like, all right. And then the comment he made right after was, well, who was important to them is the people who come out and vote, not the people who didn't vote. And in my opinion,
yeah, that's an interesting to say.
Because those people are telling you something, and you're saying, really, you understand what I'm saying?
I don't like that narrative at all.
Yeah.
I remember listening to Dale and Tony and them back in the day, and two of them having that debate where Dale say he don't vote.
Right.
And Tony say, well, you don't have a say.
Right.
That's dangerous thing to say, and not voting is a say.
It's a say. It is a say. Yeah. You understand? And so that's why I say it. You know, you have to look at things like that. When you hold that kind of position, then you really don't care about the people, I would say people, the undecided. Because really,
you don't care about the whole country.
Exactly, yeah.
And the undecided vote, but listen, there's a hell of a discussion too, because the people who, every time I see polls, it looks like it's a growing 1/3 that is undecided.
Right.
And I think that once the election period done, not just the election day, but maybe the year of election, and maybe 6 months that come right after that, that is the first group that's forgotten.
Right, yeah.
Maybe after your opposing base, you know what I mean? They just forget that and you play to your base. But you're going to talk about this two-party system. And if PNM have any issues, they say UNC not in a good place. What do we do if we have a two-party system?
So the thing is, I think we don't need to have a two-party system alone. What I could guarantee you is that third party cannot come and win outright win an election. But what we need to start doing is other parties need to, instead of trying to focus or instead of trying to run for 41 seats, run for one, run for two. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, influence.
Because the thing is, this is expensive. This is extremely expensive.
Yeah,
right? A lot of people do understand. For you to have a constituency office, that's a rent.
Of course.
And most of the time, people just put constituency offices on main roads.
Of course.
6, 7, 10.
Yeah, so if you had to do 41 of them.
Right, exactly. $1,000 you're talking about. Let's say $6,000 to $12,000 rent.
Of course.
Right? Then we have flyers. Ads.
Yeah, the image of each one of the candidates is a lot.
It's expensive. Even if you had to just do photo shoots.
Yeah.
A simple photo shoot for a candidate could cost you $1,000, $1,200.
Come to affordable imports. Check Conrad.
You understand? And see if you got something.
Yeah.
You understand?
But yeah, with you.
Right? So the thing is, don't do that. Focus on, and now what happens is, if you could win, if we have 2 or 3 other parties winning 2-3 seats each, and they sit down in parliament, they have a say, because
it loses its stronghold of the two parties.
Exactly. And now what happens is, you have to bargain with me,
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? Whoever won my vote, when you want to pass a law, you want to change something, you have to bargain with me. You have to come and say, we want to do this and you want to do that. Right? And the other side can come and say, that's not, you're going on, boy. The road bad in Maruga, wherever. I'm just saying, for so long. Sort it out now and we work out something. Right? These people in my area need water, and we just only get water two days a week. And then you could start a bargain and you work for, right? No, I understand it's a battle fight because a lot of people, but you need to sell it
but
like
I like
that.
the idea though.
Yeah, you need to sell it like that.
I was just to say that one of the things that we could do differently to get out, because we have to get out of the two parties. And I feel like if we had to get out, particularly because of the two parties we have now entrenched there. But the local government system is one where I feel like is a place we had to make inroads, along with what you're talking about there too. But so that people start getting local representation from, call it smaller parties.
Right.
The system itself is so difficult, because even if I give NTA, let's use them as an example, in St. James, and I give them control of the corporation, You're dead.
Yeah, because at the end of the
So
day,
you will suffer.
yeah, you know,
You're still answerable to
exactly
government.
the central government,
To central government.
and they go in and squeeze it
Of
where they
course.
can.
Well, you're gonna make sure that you could never run and win again.
Exactly, because the thing is, you have to make and there's
course.
once again
Kill
where we
the
lose
enemy.
insight because you doing that punishing this party, but you're
course.
punishing the citizens. You're punishing. You
Well,
understand?
of course. Well, we don't establish that the citizens are not a factor when they're in power.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
it's one of the reasons to why I, as a voter, again, a layman who know nothing, might have a hard time going and say, all right, let me go with Kizel Jackson. What's her party name again?
I have no idea.
You can't say it like that. You have to say it like you was interested in what she did. If she run for my seat alone, I might say, oh God, boy. Even if I like her policies and I like what she's doing and I believe that because all of us come from communities where it have people within the community who they are ready for the community before they get into the politics. And let's say they do the localization strategy you're talking about. The fear for this voter might be you could get squeezed there too. Because then it could end up, let me say 41. You have a voice, but then you could get pulled to the place like Watson. You know what I mean? It's hard.
All right, so like for instance, I have voted once in my entire life. Right? It was a local
But you
government
don't have
election.
a voice. Your voice don't count.
Right. Well, in this situation, and it was a local government election, the last local government election actually.
Right.
And the candidate happened to be a PNM candidate, and if the candidate was a UNC candidate or NTA candidate, I would have still voted for that person, right? The reason being, that person was from my area.
Of course.
Grew up in my area. And I knew that person to always be a person to want to help the area and help people generally.
what you mean.
Right? I knew that. It will always be difficult for me to vote for somebody not knowing them personally.
Yeah.
And these MPs especially, or people who are going up to be MPs, they're doing a horrible job. Why am I only seeing you?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
One of the main complaints that people have.
And the thing is, you keep treating us like peasants. Let me tell you why I say that.
But rewarding that, 100%. I would tell you.
Because you come in music truck making us start whole noise in my area. You understand? And take 2 weeks or whatever before election. Why am I not seeing it all the time?
No.
You understand? And then here you want to tell me now, well, the office day, you could always come at the office. Well, election time sit around the office and wait for me to come to now.
No.
You know you don't do that, right?
No.
Yeah. Right? Because the thing is, if you walk around in a community and I have an issue too with people not being of a community and want to go up to be an MP.
Tricky too.
Yeah.
Tricky.
I'll get into that. I could get into that quickly too. But when there's people, so when you're walking in the community and you might meet somebody and they say, boy, you're going on too cheater. And I just say, unfortunate, but you're too cheater and there's the problem. You as the MP at that point could tell this person, you're going on boy, it have a little grant here, so. Pass by the office and give me a name, and I put on your name in the office, and you come and you sign up, but there's so much people that need help, but they don't know the help exists because they're not going and look for it online. But whatever, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you know that. It's a lot of people. There are a lot of
people who are aware of it all.
Yeah.
Tend not to go and look for it.
Exactly.
And then say you don't have.
Exactly. Right? So the thing is, but when you walk around and you're there, that's what I tell you. You see, I will give Foster comments that because
Present.
I moved into Lockita, checking it now, is about 4 years now. Yeah, 3 or 4 years now. Right? And somewhere in the mix of things, a pipe burst in front of me. A T&Tech truck came, put on the jack, and burst the pipe in front of me. Because the main line that run inside by me, I barely get water. Water had to come real hard.
For you to go.
Right for me to get water. And I remember I did scroll on Instagram and see something about this Foster Commons Connect app or some kind of thing like that. Go on the app, okay. Hey, look, I can lodge a complaint here. Lodge a complaint. Call in less than half an hour. I see a number calling me. Who number is that? Hi, calling from Foster Commons office. This is the case. All right, you're going to call Wassa.
Sure.
That was the Thursday. Monday. Good day. Look outside, see a man in a Wassa jersey. Yeah, call to about this leak, just come to check tomorrow. The next morning. And for something like that. You understand what I'm saying?
It speaks volumes.
Exactly, because now I could feel confident
of course.
in possibly giving him a vote.
Yeah, because you're right. Things will go wrong. It's have no way to avoid that. In our community is thousands of people, things will go wrong. But I think you hit the nail on the head where we started the political conversation because leadership is always be lacking. A lot of times, and maybe there's be great. I always say and always tell me about this. You and Jude always tell me about saying the best and the brightest is the people who run in the country. Yeah, I strongly believe that. Even the ones who I disagree with, I find they should step aside. I was talking about Kamala stepping aside, for instance, but I don't mean disappear.
Right.
We need what she have to contribute to whoever is to come next, even in the UNC, or we need them to, even the political parties as myopic, not myopic, but as utopian as it might sound, could mentor the other parties that coming up. If it's about Trinidad and Tobago, then let me put it this way. Philip had to be great. Gary had to be great. Kizela, anybody who willing to put himself, they had to be great first to do well. But the void sometimes is in the leadership. And a good leader know that presence, that being able to call, even if he can call back himself.
Right,
setting up a structure that somebody,
office,
because it's water you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a major issue. I was in Chagonas buying water twice a week.
Right.
And paying water.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I had to buy water twice a week. And they running ads telling me, don't buy water. And don't do that. So it's something else. But if you have any third force that is...
Right now, nah.
I see Prakash say they're having secret meetings and so on, you know what I mean? What's the name again? COP was the last third force?
Yeah, COP was the last third force. I think joining with the UNC obviously is what
right.
Because a lot of people who were there to be away from the UNC.
Yeah.
Now,
I guess that make them a spent force.
Exactly. No, the thing is, I understand exactly why they did it. Right? Most people wouldn't understand. But they did it because they were run out of financing. They just went up for they just ran for the election. I think it was 2 years prior. I think that was the only time that election
close. Some by-elections that I think they send people for as well.
And so you're putting off money.
Yeah, it's had a lot of elections in the 5 years already, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So and then when
they run on fumes.
You start to realize why money running out, and you had to. And then obviously they thought, or they were the belief that they would have gotten a certain amount of respect or whatever the case may be. I mean, people. It's only one election ever UNC won by themselves, which was only, I think that was only a year. It only lasted a year, right? But other than that, UNC has never won an election by themselves. And people tend to forget that COP gave UNC, I think, or brought 7 seats, I think.
Oh, it was as much as 7, I thought it was 4.
Yeah,
probably right.
Yeah. You're going to think about this.
Yeah.
Right, because Annie Roberts was...
Of course.
Yeah,
right? It's true. Yeah. It started off there.
Yes, COP. This guy, the pastor guy, I forget his name. He was in Arima.
Right.
You had Prakash. You had...
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get the strength there.
Yeah, so that's 7 seats. Right?
But we're in a position now where we do have... You're not seeing any of them coming.
Nah.
Who's the best of the lot, you think? Because Gary said he go in all seats. Kizel said she go in all seats. Philip, what did he say? 41 too? He was... He is giving his support to UNC. Oh, he said so?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. I thought he said he was going up for all these seats.
No.
I see.
Yeah, so, he's a hard person to keep up with because...
It's changed a lot. He's retired often. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So, he's a hard one to keep up with. And I don't understand why they fail to realize that type of behavior can election a killer. That type of behavior tends to make it hard for people to take it serious.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, the third force, that undecided wouldn't take it serious. But some people taking them serious.
No, but listen, don't get it twisted. Let's tell people this from train parties back in the day. So long time when I was in school, because I started DJing at a pretty young age. And I say DJing professionally because I've been paid to DJ from about 15 years old, right? Back in record times at records, right? So I'm not one of them now, come DJ. Yeah, right? And so sometimes somebody will be having a birthday party, and they would come to us, being DJs in the school, and so we would try to figure out how much people come, and I say, boy, 100 because I invite everybody. Yeah. But on the day of the party, this is a free party.
Yeah, 20
people, right? Come, right? And so this is the point I'm making in terms of people can really support you on social media, but when it's time to go and dip their finger, that's the next thing, and let it be real also.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. That and it's look like support, eh?
Yeah.
Because you live up plenty people, and just to get people to leave home. Like I always tell people, everybody know about business until you have to sell one of something. If you sell a ticket,
Yeah.
or you get somebody to listen to our podcast, then you start to know what it is to put it out there. But Trinidad Killer get rewarded. Trinidad Killer get Nicki Minaj on his song. So what you say to that? The man make a fuss.
So is he? So all right. So just tie back the same Trinidad Killer thing to the thing with Philip. And I think what Philip do understand. He thinks that he in charge of views now, boy. And he in charge. So the trainers start talk for Gary or whatever, the case may be, right? Oh, you only get 12 views, you only get whatever.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah, right? But the thing about it is, right now, the algorithm favors him, especially on TikTok.
Right.
And there's some...
Okay.
TikTok could
Yeah,
really...
spend a lot of time on TikTok as
it could inflate your ego, eh? It could. Because I tell you, nearly anything I post on TikTok right now,
Yeah, I see it.
I just get 10,000 views.
Right.
I don't know how. You understand what I'm saying? Because there are things I've posted on YouTube, there are podcasts I've done. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't see those numbers. But TikTok thrives on controversy, right?
I suppose.
Yeah, because polarization. You know, once you get people in the comments arguing,
It will
push.
It'll push it.
Right? So, and that is what he's good at. And so it pushes for him. And I guess it's the same thing. I did a video on TikTok as well about the Trinidad Killer thing.
Right, yeah.
And and the thing is, I wouldn't doubt it's because of the controversy is why it reached.
Yeah, it's not a move.
It started reaching Nikki. Nikki
So
and
you're saying that the controversy, I hear you talk about the algorithm, would push it to where it reached. Without that, you don't think she's seeing it at all?
I think they might not have been. Because clearly, Nikki, when she went to reach out to him, she said that I saw you send the messages before.
Right, yeah. That's
You understand what I'm saying?
Which means she never checked that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she said she didn't know there was controversy behind his song and all that. She just said it was a good song.
Now I think it's the controversy that
But from the start, the way you feel is a good song, the full blown one on the rhythm. Was it thoughts on it as a
song by itself is a good song. I didn't like how they processed the voice.
Okay.
In the first version,
Right.
but they did over the processing of the voice. You realize
No, I didn't notice
the
it.
real auto tune or pitch correct in the
Okay.
first song, but they had it a little more natural in
I
the
see.
second one, and I
Right.
really love the second one because it
when
was
you say the second one, the one that playing now, the one that rebuilt?
the one that
new
rebuilt,
rhythm and everything, yeah. Okay.
right. I don't think he sang it over. I just think they
just use change the voice.
They just
Process it different.
process it differently, and I think it's a wonderful song.
Yeah, he captures sentiment for sure.
Exactly. And I have always said this, and I will continue to say it until that changes. Trinidad Killer is the most influential artist in Trinidad and Tobago. He is.
But he's a star.
Yes.
Because when he say, I know, he knows how to make a hit. Because that Terrence thing, that didn't come out when the same day or the day after. And more than one Terrence song had come out.
Right,
and
but
he
his
was
own-
stick and went
yeah.
all over the region.
The thing is, listen, he knows how to connect, especially with the ground.
Of course.
Big up him for that. I think he, because he's connected to the ground, he knows how to grab all his sayings and he know what will catch. Like I said, people, that term "ride on till we lie down" was out before, right? But but when he came and he said it, everybody, that Canaval, even now, people still saying, it's "ride on till we lie down."
You know better than me, but I find that for songwriters, that is a difficult thing to do. Most times I see songwriters take a slang that was on the streets and try to make it into a song. It don't work.
Yeah,
But
because
somehow he's figured out a way to
because a lot
make
of
it
them not
stick.
connected to the streets.
Yeah, I suppose.
And that's the thing. Because after a while, it might sound bad, but it just kind of get a little elitist, you know. If you understand what I'm saying. And it's not, that might be the intention. It's just saying not time to line, not time to be on the
disconnect a
ground.
little bit, yeah,
You
gotcha.
understand? So you writing song, you're doing whatever you have to do, and you, but Trinidad Killer, them fellas
boy.
on live right through them fellas.
Yeah.
So they connected, and once they connected, they understand how to talk to the ground. It's not nobody can talk more shit than a man on the corner.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
You understand what I'm
That's true,
saying?
yeah. If you stay on the corner, you will keep sharp.
Yeah, exactly. You know that?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course.
You can keep sharp. You could laugh till.
Yeah. Anybody who missed the block, miss a part of their life.
Yeah.
You had to be there. But eventually catch a length now with Nicki Minaj. I see the last thing I saw was where she say when I get a million views, she will
views,
drop
yeah.
her verse and them kind of thing. Let me ask you this. As good as this song is, you think it would have stand up on its own or reach this far if he had just done it on his own rhythm in the first place?
Probably not as fast.
Okay.
I think it would have still done well, but not as fast. I think the controversy helped.
Yeah.
Right? But let me
Because
tell
the rhythm was done big.
right, yeah.
Right.
But let me tell you the what's the funny thing about it, right? And the ironic thing about it. So he stole or borrow or whatever you want to say with him, right? He did the
Lease,
song.
a wet lease.
Yeah, all the bacchanal went on, right?
Yeah.
Now, he is trying to get 1 million views for Nicki to do a verse.
Yeah.
But there are so many people uploading his song that if you go on YouTube and look for his song, they are taken away from his views. So
if you look at it collectively, he passed a million.
He done pass a million. So I was like,
including people re-uploading the original song.
Exactly.
Yeah, he under some pressure.
This is what I'm saying.
Against him.
So exactly. So you see the same thing you did, that kind of work.
Course.
You understand that? Cause the bacchanal people doing
Keeping
you
back now.
and keeping you back.
Well, I was glad you raised that, right? Because I wanted to talk. I can't remember if I talked about it in the last episode or not, but I see Muti X and Swizzle Stick do a song on the rhythm. You could tell the quality of the song there, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But Muti come on his live and say, I come to promote it. He cuts him off. He's like, yeah, don't come to promote. You're jumping anything. You know, it's like the man doing the same exact thing.
That,
and then Muti looked like he genuinely was thinking Trinidad Killer would have gave some shine.
Like, because, because you think, well, boy, this person going to the...
None of that.
Yeah. So, you did talk about it in the podcast.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I mean, I just laugh at it.
It's funny as
but
hell.
You see, but to Trinidad Killer and them is the same kind of thing went on with Full Blown. I don't have to get into this, but
yeah.
But yeah. The thing is, and I've seen them they going on the press tours or whatever.
Full Blown?
Yeah, Full Blown, and I realize they're staying away from the topic. When people try to ask them, they're staying away from the topic.
Yeah. It's first, last, and never again. You
right?
talk about it no more.
But and he still don't talk about it, right? But people who in the industry know and they know, and I don't want to be the one to bring it up because it could work against Full Blown. So and right now they on the leg up. So I don't want to be the one to block the blessing in any way, right?
Yeah.
But what I will say is they were going through the same fight down. That's why they sing that song. Don't fight me down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They were going through their own version of fight down.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you come and you think and you trying to say they fighting you down, they not trying to get a leg.
This is with voice.
This is whoa, what is what? Who is talking about? Right?
The man say we have to. He say everyone make their choices. We make sacrifices. We block out the noises, and we have to forget voice.
No, that is not what they say.
I thought that what they say.
They say forget the voices.
I just forget lyrics sometimes
with a capital V.
I just forget.
Right? That is.
Sometimes lyrics, as my age.
Right?
But it's the same thing as saying about Killer because what you're talking about there, and you in the industry, people who get in fight down and get on top, it's just a cycle. Maybe it's our industry. And I hate to come all the time and compare it to Jamaica and the way it's work because if you talk to people on the ground in Jamaica, they will talk the same fight down thing. But I can tell you, if a man do something and catch a length, if the thing showing promise, it could be a vagrant, which you see already. They bring in here.
No, but the thing is, I think Jamaica culture, it has some differences with Jamaican culture, right? That not here. And is so for instance, in Jamaica culture, they don't really thrive on royalties.
Sure.
The big artists started to rap, but most of the artists coming up.
It shows.
Right? Here we
and
just
dub plates.
Exactly. Here we just real try for radio airplay. You understand what I'm saying? It's only now, Killer and them and what KG and I'm talking about now, they realizing that what's they could build on the ground, get some radio play, but still not get no bookings, boy. Yeah. That's where the money is. You understand what I'm saying? But in Jamaica is the next way, and in Jamaica build from the ground in terms of artists here, when they release music, they looking to go on radio. Yeah. Artists in Jamaica, when they release music, they looking to carry to the dance.
They're going on tour.
Right? They looking to go on the dance and get DJ. You understand? People will tell you that. Artists will walk up, you DJ in Jamaica, artists will walk up to here, this way.
Yeah, I see it many times.
Yeah. And the people...
Big artists do it too.
Yeah. And the thing is, the people in Jamaica, they also receive music differently in terms of they look forward to a new tune busting in the dance and listening again, and it's props.
Yeah.
Sometimes mention that we have to hear the song about 10 times first.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear no new song.
I suffer from that just this weekend. I went to a fete, and I who like to talk about this. It's like, oh God, just sing hits. You understand? Men want to fete, but it's a very big cultural difference. A part of it is the size too.
Right.
Because if you make a local hits in Jamaica,
you could
do well.
Yeah.
Because as they say, it's dance. Every parish have dance every night, and you could move around. And then the dub plate money. I don't know if you just follow this man. I like to follow on TikTok with Shalom.
Nah.
Shalom, is that a man, that Rasta man? He's Shalom, come down from me. Just little vibes on TikTok. And he make a few songs. He was on Cartel Show too. They bring him on the show. And he just talking the other day about dub plates building his mother house.
Right.
in Trinidad, if you have a local hit, you're not building a house for yourself, much less your mother.
Well,
a local hit,
yeah,
not
yeah.
reaching,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
The way to get a hit here, as you rightly say, even if you didn't get it on the radio, which tough too,
Mm-hmm.
but you had to do our local carnival, soca particularly, you had to do our local carnival,
And
get
then-
that thing,
yeah,
and then
and go.
travel.
So I think even though Jamaica industry is not like the American industry, it's still more of an industry than ours.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? And that's
Well, a lot
because
more.
yeah. And that's also because they remember, even though the government they would say that the government fighting dance all day, or whatever the case may be, they still have cultural tourism. They still have tourism for their culture. I mean, so they claim that it had traffic in the airport for cartel show.
Private jet traffic.
Yeah, private. Yeah. Understand? No, the thing is, I don't think it might have been traffic, but I think
Is that a few?
Yeah, I think that a few.
Yeah,
And you understand what I'm saying?
evidently,
How much did I really get in here? You understand what I'm
I
saying?
suppose.
Yeah. So, which leads me to there's a battle between DJs and artists a lot of times.
Well, let me talk about that because when you say radio plays the holy grail, right?
Right.
I see the thing with Hakeem last week.
Right.
And Hakeem in an interview saying, nobody don't hold back nobody. I like how he says he's not a DJ.
Right.
That's the greatest statement I hear in a long time. You know what I mean? He say, he's not a DJ. I just select the songs, right? And then it shows you how much we put with the selector.
Right.
The name that going in front is the name that we stick to who playing the song.
Right.
But and then Benjai had to respond to him and say, well, basically, you're only fighting and squeezing the music. When I try to listen to as much music just from YouTube, what I could find new, I just put in Soca 2025. I listen to everything. And I could tell you, Benjai's song good. It's
No, that's
question
not.
about
Just say
it.
Benjai's song good.
Tell me.
The one you play on the podcast was good.
Yeah.
But Benjai has other
No,
songs
he has other songs that not so.
that not so good.
The half and a half is a whole.
Right. That is not good.
I kind of like it, but I ain't gonna say it good. I kind of like the vibe of the song, but I could see why nobody ain't gonna
Right.
like that.
So-
That's hard.
so
But
the
the one I play is the that song.
Yeah,
good.
that song good. No, the thing is, all right. First of all, let me give Benjai kudos for doing his own show and whatnot.
Right, I went.
Right? Yeah, so I saw you
Yeah,
at some.
on top of the other night too.
Right? That is the direction people should be focusing on. So I want to give him kudos for that. So me watching that Benjai video had me real back and forth.
Yeah,
Because it had some good things he said and it had some rubbish he said.
Right.
Right? But before I jump into that, I have the blessing and the curse of playing music long time.
Right.
Right? Oh, that is what? Over 25 years
Right.
as a DJ. Right? Back then, Corey, see if you could remember, in a carnival season, we could have put all the music that really in rotation on 2 CDs, 3 CDs.
You're probably right about that.
Compared
to now.
When I was on radio, before I left radio, and you watch the 20, whatever year it was, folder, we talking about 1,300 songs.
Let me add to what you're saying there too now, because back then it was also such a task to get to record
To
a
produce
song,
a song, yeah.
that by the time you get that little bit of songs compared to now, they had a baseline quality that you would have get.
And I think that
Now, man, recording like how I recorded my podcast,
exactly
in the bedroom.
People don't want to admit this, that when you had to pay the thousands of dollars to produce a song,
Sure.
you would have listened. You would have gone through that. Sometimes you go back in the studio.
Men will tell you no long time. If your song
Yeah,
not good
not
enough,
good. Yeah,
your
and I
lyrics
listen,
ain't good,
yeah.
your vocals ain't good. Because the few studios that I had compared to now, the few ways of recording, we don't have time
Exactly.
to groom no
And
artists.
to
You're
waste
not
time.
ready yet.
Yeah.
And they will go at the show and come, we have a session on the show and they cannot record. But now, anybody can put out a song.
And the time it would have taken back then.
course,
Because
of
long time
course.
when you had to call men to come and play instruments.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can't,
man busy.
Yeah, you can't get this one and you can't get that one.
You're right.
You understand what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
And
Now, a man building the whole rhythm himself.
Exactly.
One musician.
listen, look the other day, I think it's Penny. Penny went in, he was doing a thing with Michael Teja.
Right.
And he went in and Teja built a rhythm in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Different
saying?
mood, right? I'm with you.
So he built it in 20 minutes. So now, and he started kind of pen new words.
Sure.
So you could say within 2 hours, 3 hours, you have a song.
Right.
Before that would have taken a month, right? And the quality control in that because when I put out my $20, $30, $40,000 to do a song,
Yes, that's to be good.
it had to be good. You understand what I'm saying? I taking my time with this thing. But no. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, it's you.
It's a man playing out 9 songs. I hear this lyrical at 20 songs this season.
Yeah, I was just listening to Charlene interview, but I stopped at about 5. And
You're
he
right.
was still talking about what else he
Yeah,
called this.
you understand what I'm saying? Now, and I'm going to speak now being a DJ for a while. Because even though I was an announcer, I used to DJ as well.
Right.
When I was doing the morning show, I would DJ and talk. There had shifts I work by myself, so I had to DJ. Right? And I have flown to other countries playing music.
Right. In events and that kind of
in
thing
events,
too. Okay.
right? And I can tell you, some when you face that folder, what you're grabbing for is the names that come to mind all the time
Right.
and the people you know. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the reality. People just want to take away the human aspect of this. This is not AI playing music here.
Got you.
You understand what I'm saying? This is a human. And wait, boy, what to play now, boy? So I play a song that's 128 BPM. All right, you do so you're using Serato, so you're watching everything at 128 BPM. That's the next thing. Serato get DJs kind of lazy.
Of course.
And the people who start with it, they miss a certain skill. Right? So you're playing 128 BPM and they start to scroll through. And just imagine you seeing about 40 songs on 128 BPM. But you never really play that Benja. You never played this song. You don't know the artist's name. Hey, well, like Bungie. Good boy, me and Second Star good. You understand? Hey, well, like Second Star boy. I'll get Second Star play. Is that the way it should be? Probably not.
But let me ask you this. You, as a DJ, you used to have time to listen to all them things, or you find yourself in a dance where you had to play it without hearing it?
So here's the thing, right? And I would agree. There are a lot of DJs who don't do that, and they're not willing to do that. And that is awful. That is terribly awful.
Yeah, so you as a DJ should be hearing these songs before
you should be. You should be. No, the next problem is sometimes when the song is sent to the radio station, that's the next thing we have to keep in mind too, right? When the song is sent to the radio station, let's say it goes through the process of the program director, he verified, he say, okay, he'll put it in his station computer, right? You as the DJ, you didn't get the song. You understand what I'm saying? And you're not going to play it on air because you didn't really know it, unless it's a name.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? No, I don't know if people saw the video with Akim and Selector Carey after the Benjai thing.
You're laughing at the
right.
half and half is out.
Right. So what they were doing there is actually playing the song in studio for them to listen to it. So apparently that was the first time.
Okay, that's
because
really
right. So Benjai thing. So there's two songs I think they played. He played one and he played right, and it's because okay, Benjai saying let me pull it up at this point in the station because if Benjai not said and carry that song personally, how Carey going and get that song?
Guess, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. So and when time to pull, you go pull kind of because he was saying that I'll only wait for a song to bust. But that's kind of how men end up now is that, okay, I hear that song playing, goodbye, I get that song.
Yeah, I find there's a difference. Like, you come from these kind of clash era too.
Right, yeah.
And I find that is one of the differences now you see with young DJs. Because I see men used to build songs.
Yeah,
plates in particular.
Yeah.
My best example is Jugglers had a determined song that was not good.
Right.
Yeah, and them men play that ice green and gold until it gets to be an answer.
Yeah.
Many of them do it over the years. But I think what you're saying there too, when you talk about the amount of songs, it kind of unlocks something. Because there's no DJ, I guess, who you have the time to listen. It can't. It's almost impossible to
and
do.
then, as I say, you're not getting it. So when you go in,
I see what you're saying. Your folder as a DJ is different from the station folder.
Yeah, from the station folder. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And some of these stations, they lock their computers because obviously they don't want playing in music.
So what's the process for a station? Let's assume they get this Lee Blast thing and everybody sending music, right?
So the thing is, different stations have different processes, right? You would find next to be a little more open, because people might like I say this because it's not as big as some of the other stations that you need to kind of hone in and make sure his hits playing right and quality control. Glenn from Boom tends to be very open,
so the program director decides what the radio station will play.
Sometimes, right? Some stations, some DJs actually, not all, some DJs have a little more leeway.
Okay.
So if you have a little more respect for a DJ and you think that DJ know what you're about, you understand what I'm saying?
So he could play from his folder?
Right? He could play, some of them will they would on jack and use their laptop or whatever the case may be. But it might let that happen with everybody
I got
because
you.
a man
Yeah,
come
I
and
guess, yeah.
he played song with 2-3 cussing and you have to answer to that.
Right.
You understand what I'm
Also,
saying?
when you play with cussing, it's probably the DJ playing from their folder
Some-
when he hear a little slip. Okay, got you.
You understand what I'm
got you.
saying? And then Tat calling you.
Yeah, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Salute to that.
and his problems. So, all stations have different processes and procedures. But somebody taught me something because I had a stint in artist management. I never call myself an artist manager.
Sure.
I managed 2 artists.
Right.
2 artists who were making the transition from one was doing reggae to soca and one was doing hip hop to soca.
Benja is no one by chance.
No.
Okay, just checking.
And so what I did is I worked with Ian Panton for a while as an understudy to understand,
Right.
what
Yeah, management.
what
looks
is
like.
do, right? And one of the things Ian Panton taught me, and Ian, I'm going and probably pour the secret here, but I don't think you're doing artist management again, so I don't know. Right? Hopefully you can get vexed with me.
Yeah.
But one of the things he taught me is, listen, with all the artists, you managing this artist, you make a meeting or you organize a meeting with the program director, right? And you carry these songs that your artists have. Your artists have 3-4 songs,
Sure.
you carry it and you reason them because a program director wouldn't want to tell, and that's what the manager is for. People fail to realize this. The manager is the bridge because sometimes people don't want to tell an artist certain things or wouldn't want to say
course,
certain things.
of course.
So you go now and, okay, how are you feeling about these songs? And then we could come to a consensus that, okay, you like these 2 out of the 4? So you're willing to play these 2?
Yeah, work with that for me.
All right, so then you work with it. Because now it takes away me just sending music. I don't know how the program director feel about it. And now all of a sudden it's fight on. They probably didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Benja is saying in his thing that it should never be up to them, just play it.
Yeah, that's I do agree with because I think it's had to be. I mean, if I was a DJ, and I tell me if I'm wrong, because it's coming from a complete layman, I had to build my name. I have a brand too.
Yeah.
So if I go a party,
Yeah.
I had to play what working.
Exactly. And that's an next part of the discussion we probably have later on in terms of people arguing about if, how much new soca should play and how much old soca should play in an
Right,
event.
yeah, that seems to be an argument all the
Yeah,
time now.
that seems to be an argument, but everybody obviously watches it from their perspective and not the other people's perspective. No, thankfully for me, as I say, I have experience in managing artists, I have experience in DJing, throwing parties, throwing
Right,
fets as
right,
well,
right.
working with people like Bungie, as I say, Marshall, right? So I have a lot of experience in different
Yeah.
fields, and I could see from different perspectives. But yeah, to that point, at the end of the day, we can, as a DJ or as a person who runs a radio station,
Yeah,
I make money based on listenership. I can't chance it for your music that people changing off the station because if let me say I am championing
Yeah, bussing some songs.
Bussing songs
working
all
on
the
it.
time,
The radio
right?
is usually not the best place for that.
exactly. So I champion in Boston song, and when I champion in Boston song, people not listen to my station because I just want to hear hits. Most
Now you're
people.
advertising dollars in trouble.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? And then when things start to struggle and I can't pay my DJs and I'm only laughing at me.
Yeah, of course.
I can't pay, when I can't pay my taxes, you understand what I'm saying?
Like who so?
Oh, they're laughing at me?
Like who? But if that's the case, then you see, I seeing where the gatekeeper thing coming from. Because this is where I was thinking about when Benjai went on Iran. Benjai has done enough already in this industry where if I stand up in front of 40 songs and I see Benjai's name, his name should be good enough. So I have a question to ask you about Benjai management. But before I get to that, if the program director could be seen as a gatekeeper, or let me change the word gatekeeper and mafia and them things. He's
Yeah.
like tastemaker.
It's-
He had to decide what playing on his station. Now he what?
He in charge of quality control.
I got you. So that's different fighting it or
Yeah,
squeezing it.
yeah.
I listen and I don't like it and I'm not putting it. Yeah, and unfortunately, in that kind of work, you cannot please everybody.
Exactly.
And the more people trying to get in, is the more people will be vexed. Is it the same in fets, you would say? Like, for instance, does a fet promoter, from your experience, say what could play in he fet or what can't play? Is that normal
The
discussion?
first person I know here locally who did it publicly was Friends of Friends.
I don't know who that is.
Laird?
Agard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And I don't think it was done maliciously. And it wasn't, so it was basically, you see all these songs that people just push to get falls forward or easy forward.
Oh, remember this?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
like Papa Butler and them. things.
Right.
Yeah. That was funny.
Right. Kind of, don't do
They
that.
can't play that.
Come on, work fit.
Okay, got you.
Right?
Got you.
And I appreciate that.
Right.
In terms of telling them not to play certain artist music, I've never really had that experience. I would admit I had the experience DJing on the road where you were told what song to play on the stage. And that only happened to me in the how much of a years I played on the road, playing with a big band.
Okay.
Right? When I played with these smaller bands, I think I was probably the first or only people. When we approaching the stage and they're waiting by the stage,
Test out some things.
I asking.
Okay,
By
so
the show of hands, I'm
that's
see
even better.
what you want. You want.
Yeah, so you're making it about the masquerade.
Yeah, all who say I work,
Right.
all who say, and I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, if you do that, you come from a long time for real. That was something you saw happen back in the day.
let me be real. I come from the clash era, you know.
Well, I guess, you know you play into the crowd.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
and that's the next thing. But and I telling you, at no point in time, it was ever the same song behind the other.
Gotcha.
The people said the next song, and you understand what I'm saying?
With you.
So that's the year when I almost had come to me. Fair and had drop on the ground and roll. Marshall had whatever he had. I can't remember at the point in time.
You kind of get them the choice.
And they
go
give
with
them the choice. And we go with the majority and everybody enjoy themselves. And the next time around, and that just shows you that sometimes people do the same thing all the time. So
No.
don't force that on them.
So one band tell you how to play this.
You're right. One band. There's only one band I've ever had the experience with. They say, hey, when you enjoy the stage,
That way you're playing.
Yeah.
What happens if you decide you're playing something else?
you will not get paid.
You're not getting your money.
Yeah.
Oh, like what band was that?
No. We're not doing that.
Starting with T?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
He's just asking. He's asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could see again. Let me ask you one more question before we move from that.
And let me just say,
tell me, yeah.
I just want to say this. The reason I'm not doing that is because the DJ who I worked with at the time, I being an announcer or the hype man, that DJ is still in the industry.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I don't ever want, anything to be taken away from him.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that idea of something being taken away from you if you don't do our bidding
Right.
is where you can hear where the mafia thing
Yeah,
coming from,
yeah,
right? Yeah. And it's not uncommon, yeah? That's something you hear. And if you talk to artists who you call them veterans and the old men and them now, that was the sweet in Calypso 10s and all that.
Right, yeah.
It was
I mean,
been like that.
I have a episode from years ago with Short Pants talking about that too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That men know.
Yeah.
It's a brutal world. But in the fets now, I always want to find out, in terms of deciding on what artist is going to perform in your fets, how are you doing that in advance? Because what you have music from the artist and you deciding, or is it just name?
All right, so some people will go with name because they think no matter what, this artist will do well. They'll put out music that good enough for the season. And I think we can't deny that at this point. We have artists like Marshall, no matter where you do,
quality.
And Marshall, if Marshall put out something that's not catching, Marshall will go back in the studio.
Yeah, because I find right now, nothing he's singing is...
He have one song, I don't rename it, sorry, because I'm not paying that much attention. I think they try to push the party is not that great.
The party's not it.
But he have a next fast song that I heard on TikTok.
And the 2 car is not it neither. Saying that me have from my wife. I want one car.
Yeah, but a lot of women have a problem with that.
Yeah, I can't dance good in the fat weekend. You want vex or 2 car.
I'm
and a car have like 5 seat too.
I'm a strong advocate for polygamy, so that 2 cars.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah, it's not. It's not necessarily that I like
but
that.
But you're not against it.
I'm not against it. I think if we take any stance that people can love who they want to love, then people should be able to love how much people they want to love. Women should be able to have 2 or 3 husbands if they want, and men should be able to have 2 or 3 wives if they want.
Views and opinions of the alternative podcast personal and not necessarily the views. But yeah, with you.
Right?
But going back to Marshall, I don't find none of the songs this year hitting. But you're right in that if you pull a Marshall song out of folder, and there's about 10 artists like that, if you pull it out of the folder, you're going to get something of quality, even if you never listen to it.
Right, and the thing about it is too, even if Marshall come and sing his old music, because they have repertoire, it's easy to hire them. It's easy to hire Marshall. It's easy to hire Bungie. Right. It's easy to hire a lot of people before these.
But the men on the fringes now, how you decide?
Right, so the men on the fringes. Right, so you had to wait. You had to wait to hear.
See.
Yeah, you had to wait to hear.
Gotcha.
And then where
so there's a part of your budget going towards short shooters.
Short shooters. And then you have
that makes some sense.
The run-on artists.
And you kind of listen.
With
you.
So you have in your mind this run-on artist.
Yeah, so that at that point you book your artist already, and then you realize, wait now, full-blown catch on your rhythm.
Right.
You hire
them. We pull
and I guess they can't charge you like how the big boys.
And then we start to balance budgets, right?
Gotcha.
Because we start to say,
at that point, what tickets selling on them.
And right. And so now we start to balance budget. And then sometimes you engage an artist and let me just say this artist budget is 10,000. But then we find by tickets and things. You start to promote them yet, but engage them, right? And they say 10,000. And then by this artist doing 5,000, but their song catching. Wow, good to
Swing
say.
it that way.
You understand what I'm saying?
Make perfect sense. It's a business I struggle to understand.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
fed promotion and thing. I always wonder about how those
And
things
for
work.
me, I always advise clients who are working with, listen, if artists can't pay for themselves, I'm not booking here. For the listen,
In terms of ticket sales.
yeah, right. For the least, you had to be able to pay for yourself. In terms of if I put you, let me say your price is 5,000, my ticket is $100. You just saying, right? You had to be able to sell them 50 tickets.
yeah.
If I put your name, at least 50 people had to want to come and
Yeah,
see
it's
you.
business, right?
Exactly, right? But obviously, there are some people who figure, well, now you should hire me because of the culture. And whoa. Because I could tell you, listen, I threw a fet
Right.
and lost $100 and something $1,000.
Yeah, nobody ain't looking for
Nobody looking for that.
Yeah, no.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, nobody not calling you back to get a rebate.
Wait now, you lost it, boy, dog, boy.
Nah, not that.
Yeah, well, who lot 10,000 back now, boy?
Yeah, business is business.
You understand what I'm saying? All the people who were complimentary. Wait, boy, dog, boy, you lost? Well, I go pay for my ticket now. Nobody not doing that.
No.
You understand? No, the thing is, when you risk it, no, people will say, hey, about
As a businessman, it's your risk to take.
exactly. And when it's my risk to take, when I win and I make the big box,
course.
that's my reward for the risk I took.
Of course. And you know me as a 1%er. I like that.
Yeah.
Private sector is private sector. DJs who singing. I hear Benjai talk about that too. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, I went, when he said it, I went to research, and there's no law.
I was looking too.
Especially no federal law. If you had said there's a law in some states, then it might be harder to find.
Yeah, or there
Federal
might be a
law.
policy in some stations,
Yeah.
maybe.
But when I say federal law,
Yeah,
that means
yeah.
it governs the entire United States of
That would be
America.
hard, including Canada these days.
Right? Yeah.
That would be hard.
Right? So when he said that, I was like, and you see when you make statements like that, bro, it takes away from your credibility. It makes it sound
Well, boys, sometimes Naldo I wonder. Because
True.
the same thing we say about the politics, you know, sometimes when you're talking to the masses,
True.
thing is stick, you know.
True,
So that's why I say, boy, let me go and look it up because it didn't, that was song right.
Yeah. DJs who singing, listen, if you're complaining about gatekeepers and then you trying to keep them out the gate because they want to sing too, then you being a gatekeeper as well, right? No, I disagree with DJs who singing and they forcing the music down your throat, right? That's where the program directors have to get involved,
Yeah, but you say it, you know, man, it's human.
right?
It's humans you're dealing with. And I feel like, not that I defend
Yeah.
it, but if Shal sing a tune and it ain't catching the length, Shal also producing at a level of quality where it's acceptable song,
Right,
whether you like it or not, that's a different thing. But them men go and beat that song, you know.
But the thing is, you know,
Them
that,
Shal and thing down one shift. you
no,
know.
and this is no way to take away from Tweez and
Sure.
Raw Fusion and them. But you know that wasn't happening when Paul Richards was there, right?
Did I put a stop to it?
Listen, no, it don't pass up, it's not playing, right?
Or he decided and that's
Yeah,
it.
when he was the program director, Chow will tell you, right? Chow had a song
Right.
and carry for Paul, and Paul said, not playing.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
That's rough.
Chow will tell you that.
Yeah, that's why you have to go in politics now. Because radio career done. Yeah, it's a cold world.
Right?
But I see the importance, when you talk about this, right? It shows the importance of the program director's quality.
Right,
Yeah, more than just a gatekeeper or
And,
a soca
and
mafia.
exactly, and then plenty times we target the DJs and them, but sometimes
Yeah,
the
they
program
don't really like to
director,
see
is the program director determining. And then like, you know, on the same Benjai topic, Benjai bashing Hoppy or whatever the case may be, right? Because apparently he was on a call
Sure.
and Hoppy say how the music song in. He don't like that. Wait, hold on. Once again, there's a man investment. I had to ask what quality it is. If I'm selling, and let me just say I'm selling food, and somebody come and say, well, here we're going on, boy, we have some fries to sell here.
Yeah.
I had to ask, was it quality of fries?
business.
That is good thing? Is not good thing?
And listen, Naldo, as a culture defender, you know, I always say that Canaval better when Benjai have a hit. But it has some of them things I can agree with from that standpoint because Hoppy is not a DJ now again. As a radio station owner, you have a wider responsibility.
Yeah.
You have a vision as a businessman. You have a way of doing things. Not saying that you don't have your own biases too.
Yeah.
But I don't think the way you're going around the biases is
I don't think Hoppy have any biases.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Really?
Yeah. Hoppy is a very interesting individual. He's one of the people I've been around, and Hoppy's business. Hoppy is business. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I didn't make it a profit or not.
Yeah, and Hoppy is a person who, listen, if you and Hoppy good, if you're up to business, Hoppy will leave you right there.
Yeah.
Hoppy's business. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, it's you?
Hoppy's business. Hoppy's
Yeah,
business.
Okay, gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
So you write to ask about the quality
Yeah,
of the song.
yeah, listen.
And I don't think he's saying down listening to no folder for
Yeah,
song neither.
he not doing that.
Depending on the
He
DJs.
on the DJs and them to say, you understand
Yeah, so
what
when
I'm
he
saying?
asks, it might just be I felt like if when he said that, it's like, but the man could ask that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what the quality is like, is it? And if a man say, because listen, for me, I would say it has some songs that could grow, some songs that will never make it. It has some songs you heard one time, yeah, boy. Like, yeah, people talking about this gatekeeping thing. It's about artist right now, I think his name is Jungi or something
Yeah,
like that.
Jungi.
Right? Jungi have a good song, and I think he
Jungi
getting a
song
little
decent
length.
too. Oh, it is?
Yeah, you get any play on
rum
certain
song?
stations. Yeah,
Oh,
I kind of
play.
rum fast song. Right? And he getting a little play. Also, when Mr. Famous come out, they play more local. So because people keep talking about these people gatekeeping, who's gatekeeping? Listen, once a song is good.
Well, boy, go ahead. Once a song is good.
Once a song is good enough. Because you had to understand. And ask yourself, am I an artist who could come with a half a song or a song with 60% strength and get through? No, there are certain artists, because of their name, they could come
Which
with
they
a...
work for, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get a name by chance.
Exactly. Who could come with a song, with 60% power, up 60%, quality or whatever.
And they put it between two hit songs and people start to love it.
Yeah, and it still get...
But this is your opinion I have, right? Because I heard Akeem saying this too, where you can't fight good music. I don't know if I agree with that 100%. I don't think you could stop a hit.
Right.
When you have a hit song, it will make its way. But I always feel as if a good song, like we call that the 60% song. I think what you're saying is true. The 60% song could catch a length. It could be in the bubble. It
Right.
could catch a length. It could just bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is that if I sing a 60% song and I don't know, nobody don't know who is me, that is automatically a 20% song.
Right. No.
And if you have the right management and the people around you, then working the song, because the passion that Benjai have is needed for him to create the way he's created, I feel.
Right.
But then don't deal with no DJs, don't deal with no... You understand?
Yeah.
Like, it's like in work by me. It's a certain people, I see clients, it's a certain people, them is not to see no clients.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because you had to keep that buffer.
Right. And I think that is what Benja and I need to do. I think that's what a lot of artists need to do. Probably we need to actually have proper record labels here.
Yeah.
So the record label
You
will
have
deal...
A&Rs and you have management.
And
you
they
have,
will deal with the publishing, they will deal with the PR and whatnot. Right? And keep some of these artists off the internet.
Yeah, it will be tough.
You right? Because that is where a lot of the fallout happens. Because what's a car come and cost me today, dog. And feel
And
that,
you need me.
Yeah, and then feel that because I'm only human.
Of course.
Right? It mightn't cost me directly. But it's like, DJ, all them DJ and them.
Yeah, go feel that way.
Well, all yes.
Yeah.
We
You
the
go feel
problem?
that, yeah.
I know, all right, cool.
Like popcorn and scatterbarrelli.
Yeah. You understand?
But where I feel I gave him 100% credit is on where you say with PR.
Yeah.
Because as you say, I feel like if more artists should take the initiative to start to do their own shows and build one another, shows with one another. I see Voice and them do that to an extent. And a lot of them. And somebody rise to a level.
Listen, Voice is a perfect example, you know. Now, all right. I don't want to be hypocritical in saying it.
Sure.
In terms of, because of Voice being part of Full Blown and they writing for certain big artists, the door was kind of ajar.
Right.
You understand? The door was kind of open for them to step in, right? But at the end of the day, Voice never stopped working, you know. You can see what you want about him.
Yeah.
He never stopped working. And during the COVID period, they come and they do the
find
lives.
something.
And let me tell you something. A lot of people had no Voice music and voice. People fell in love
COVID make a difference.
with that man, with that vibes with Voice, you know.
Sure.
Fall in
Because
love,
they
you
come in
know.
to talk about everything. Naldo, me and you was podcasting at the time. So we watching how you could connect with our audience. And the men do it.
Right.
And you don't have to do it.
And the thing is, it's commitment because they were doing it on every Wednesday and Tuesday night, whatever night.
Yeah, it starts off with Salty and Akeem.
Yeah.
And then it started build.
And then Travis and you understand what I'm saying?
And it was a energy.
And-
Elon was also one who do that journey.
And Elon profile bill.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This is what we need to do. So the same how Benjai had his little show. Also you pull couple artists and you have your little shows. You don't need to start off with 1,000.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if, because as I say, it's a good PR thing, because as much as I like the culture, I don't leave my house. I have bad habits with that, you know what I mean? But the live and no any other show in Kaiso Blues is how I end up there the Friday night. So I guess you could say it worked.
Right,
you know what I mean? But even going the show had Ziggy, Orlando Octave, Prophet Benjamin, Gaylan was there. It was nice to see Benja and Gaylan sung great together. You know what I mean? And it was a good show. Let me put it like that, right? But I always have a complaint about these shows. And I typically have the complaints with the Calypsonians that I like, the older artists. Like I remember going to Explainer Memorial Show. And me and my mother go on the show Naldo. Show was supposed to start at 7. My mother is a woman. If it started at 7, she reaching 3:30. And boy, when we reached 7 o'clock, XLR cable on the ground still. Nothing set up. And I felt that way in Benjai's show weekend too. I want to see Benjai. I come to see Benjai. But Ziggy Rankin would perform great, but I hear him sing Bob Marley for about 3 of his songs out of the 5 for what I don't know. Orlando was real good. Prophet Benjamin is Prophet Benjamin.
Yeah. One of the greatest to do in Trinidad.
Boy, listen, as a performer, he have a grip on people. Orlando too, eh? But let me tell you something. By the time Benjai come on, Naldo is the youngest man in the dance. Other than Benjai, cooler people. I the youngest man in the dance. I middle age. You can't do shows where it starts in 7. You coming on at Benjai come on must be about midnight.
Right.
By the time Benjai come on, half the people who was there standing up by the door just trying to get a little taste of what he doing.
And then,
and leave.
Yeah.
So whether you feel, because to me, you see that plain mask, when I hear that, I wanted to buy a costume.
Right.
Not so much for half and a half as a whole. But I think, as you said, DJ, when I see Young Brother and Benjai, I must play that. So, and the song have an energy, although it's a weird song, but he's a weird man. And weird men go make innovators.
And listen,
go hit and miss.
And that's fine, you know. But it's even better when you build a true fan base and you build a true audience. It will
never leave you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing you say about voice. Voice connect with people directly. And then so when you come, I don't know, I'll be honest with you, right? You see that song where you say, you see that trust in there and that all that talk? That could not work if voice was not so connected to people. People who fit in do not care about trust.
Exactly.
It's the weirdest song. I see this man singing about backstage. He's singing about issues that the average person don't know nothing more that. The average person might have Google where it's trusting. But again, the idea that all that fancy thing we just come to fet must work. But people love voice. So when I see Benjai, of course, as a performer, when you come on the stage, you're going to sing your classic sitting. Benjai come on the stage and sing about 6 songs nobody don't know. Slow one. But it's your show, right? And then he went into real classics. So the point I'm trying to make is, even if you say radio announcers fighting you, DJs fighting you, fet promoters fighting you, in your show, you choose to perform your songs that you're trying to promote after everybody leave. After the biggest part of the lounge, men had to leave. Older people going home by a certain time.
And there's something to that one, people have learned to respect the industry, but they don't treat it like an industry. People just treat it like a hustle, right? One, you have to learn to respect the industry. If you have an event, you have to know how to manage the events. Because having an event is one thing, but then hire the professionals. And then now people you have to sit down and discuss your set list.
Sure.
But if it's disconnected, you know what I'm saying? It might be difficult because you have to know, by starting with, I think Trini is probably arguably Benjai's biggest tune, right? I start with Trini, get our next song, our next popular song, and then I come into a new song. And I break it down for you. I take my time, I break it down.
That's exactly what I'm thinking,
right?
Naldo.
And then you roll again into the next popular song, you know?
So you sandwiches in between. And when you have a weird song now with a difficult concept, you have a chance in an intimate setting to explain it. People might get to like the song. But I don't know, boy. You think a lot of artists willing to take... Because if I am Benjai, right? Let me say the next side of this argument for a minute. I've done perform in front of 20-something thousand people up there in the soca monarchs of this world. In other words... Should I say I have enough respect where I don't have to show no little show in Kaiso Blues for people to hear my music?
No, not in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad and Tobago, most artists, 90% of artists, you're a new artist every year. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Look, a perfect example is Turner. Turner had some amazing years.
Big songs.
But now people treat Turner like he's and now come again.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, in Trinidad and Tobago, you could end up being a new artist pretty quickly. You understand? Back to being a new artist then. Do you understand? So, and I could tell you, working with a lot of artists, working with artists that I manage, working with artists, just helping them build certain profiles, you know?
Sure.
Artists hardened, boy, dog. And listen, no, I tell you, no, here's the thing. But that is where their talent comes from, that creativity. So it's hard for them to listen to somebody else. But you have to. Yeah, because that particular artist I was working with at a point, I was DJing for.
Yeah.
And big artist, you know. But the artist came from singing with a band.
Right.
And the artist wasn't on the ground to understand because the person who was organizing set list for the band is a person who knows this thing.
Right.
And when I was working with the artist,
They started organizing their own set.
and they started organizing the set list, I realized you're setting up the set wrong. Or you're setting up the set bad.
Right, yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Because I am out here playing your
Of
music
course,
all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You understand? All over the place. So I know which songs people want. I know which songs, you understand, where to start.
Right,
You understand?
right.
And if it's one thing I understand DJing, it's the either start low and climax, or I know how to keep us steady.
Right, gotcha.
But sometimes plenty people, they
All
want to
over the
run in.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And then they... And then they go, God, because the worst
can't build back the vibes.
it's worse when people leave your experience and at low.
Yeah, that's you.
They will always remember
the end.
The end. You understand? So artists very difficult to work with.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting you say it because if you want to call that elite level artists in Trinidad, right? Let me just use Marshall and Patrice as examples. Or Bungie and Fiona as other examples. The rate at which they reinvent themselves is impressive. But it's not just renaming, but a different look, a different feel, different type of music, different vibes, different types of collaborations. You know what I mean? They do it at a rate that maybe the average artist who finds some success want to hold on to that spot and stay.
No, the thing is, I mean, I must applaud Marshall because let me be real, bro. You just see Marshall anyway?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does stay.
Yeah.
You know, sort of grounded.
You're watching everything.
Yeah. I know he's watched
You
everything.
see everything.
Yeah. I know because watching things on social media and reality sometimes could be totally different.
Yeah. But you could see, I mean, he come from, well, not even our era, maybe before
the
us.
other before us, yeah.
So it had to be that he was so connected. Same thing I said with Trinidad Killer.
Yeah.
At his time coming up, he might be so connected to the ground that he could translate it to this digital era.
Probably,
Because
yeah.
One of the things I see him do all the time is once you show a talent, online even,
Yeah.
he is going to reach
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Whether
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a musician, a
Yeah.
comedian, just a social media character, at some point
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
reach
yeah.
out.
That's
And he ain't
true.
waiting for you to build no big following. Now, once you realize you have people, he's stick to that.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes, a point I want to make sure and add in here.
Yeah.
Because I was watching a interview that KG had with Jadel, and, Jadel was saying that so much times, people write songs and they hold back the song because they're saying, well, this one next artist, we'll get a bigger artist, this.
Oh.
Right? And I understand how that could be real hurtful.
Gotcha.
But sometimes men understand the politics, or men understand, because, first of all, we are getting into royalties and splits.
Right.
When you do a song, the split is mainly between two people.
Right.
The split is mainly between the writer and the producer.
Right.
Right? So I had to look back for my return.
Of course.
You understand what I'm
Same thing as
saying?
It's business, right?
Yeah. So if I give you a song and that song not really going to reach anywhere.
Yeah, once I give the person who
Yeah.
can reach places.
No, the thing is, and I'm not saying this is not the situation in GDL because I don't know.
Right.
But if you're willing to outright, you buy out everything, you pay 40,000 for the rhythm,
Which might be
and
worth the risk for
you
her.
pay 20,000 for the writing. Okay, take it and go. But if it's a matter, I just charging $4,000 and I take it.
I'll do it to the person I could get the best bang for
Exactly,
my
I
buck.
can
Yeah,
get
I'm with
the
you.
best
I'm with you.
return on.
Yeah.
And as I said, come down to business. And this is why I'm saying again, having people to deal with business is very important.
Yeah, I see
because an artist is very emotional about their craft.
Of course, it would be.
Yeah, and the art. A business person is very
Matter of fact.
yeah. about their business.
And they will protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will protect you. They will protect your emotions and them
Right? So that's why you need that. And that's, I mean, when I was managing artists, I am the one dealing with the writers. I am the one dealing with producers.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, so the artists, you ain't putting them through that.
Exactly.
Oh, it's-
I would debate, I would think, I would bargain, I would negotiate.
Right.
Right? And because the thing is, let me just say, I get it to drop the price or whatever the case may be. At least if you have to show anybody bad face, show me the bad face.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I see you. Many other people I talk to who into management say the same kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And it's the same thing when you're taking an artist to an event. The manager is the one to come and say, no, we don't like this
course.
tent. If the artist says, oh, the artist is a prima donna, you understand? But if I'm the one as the manager, I come and say, nah, boy.
Yeah.
The rider had this in it. This is not this. Whatever. Get vexed with me. You could come and say, and he could tell you world that this artist manager is an ass.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, which you hear a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but then
that's your role.
Yeah, but when you had to put that pressure on the artist, then you understand what I'm saying?
Of course. Well, if you give me a chance, I'll keep in here for 4
Yeah,
hours, right? So I just have one more because you had to come back, and often too, right? But when you're producing songs, like when I look at hip hop interviews, for instance, on Breakfast Club, it's clear that men will get feedback from radio DJs before they finish a song. Is that common here?
Not so common. Let me tell you what has happened to me a lot. A lot of artists would have sent me music because I am known, when I was working Next 99, I was known for bossing songs.
Right.
Because, as I say, I came from the song clash era. I came from, and I'll go as far back as to say, listen to Hoppy and them.
Right.
I was, you see, Jugglers, you remember?
Yeah.
You remember the rotation Friday morning? Is
Yeah,
Umba and Shal.
96, yeah, boy.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, right?
Yeah, it's
Hoppy
songs
and them.
all day long.
Yeah, right? And then Saturday morning is
Slaughter and
Jugglers,
them, right.
Slaughter,
Yeah.
Hoppy. That's what it was. So I came from that era where
Right.
they would boss songs. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did in my time. And right? I come out and I come to boss song.
Yeah.
I come to boss tune. So people knew me for that. So artists would send their music. But they would send their music for me after the main mix. You understand? And I say, nah, boy, this has to change. This has to adjust.
Okay.
You understand? The flow
After
or
the mix?
Yeah, exactly. And they tell me the flow, and I would tell you, listen, if you get the melody to flow better, people will sing along better and it could go further. Boy, thing done mix already, boy. Thing.
And I just
And
the
then,
money.
yeah, and I want to, thing, and I want to, because that's the next thing too. When I tell you this, and you go back by the producer, who is he? What he know about that? And that's the kind of,
Oh, it's you.
you push back, you get. And then, so now they end up putting out a song that, in really, it just, a little bit would have take it to the 60% or the 50%.
Gotcha.
That might
You
have
need to
gave the
double.
blind. But,
Yeah, with you. Because I saw many times where they're talking about the DJ being in the process, almost
Right.
in studio, giving you feedback on the beat, giving you
Yeah.
feedback on how you say the things and all them types of things, so they're much more connected.
so now luckily people like Voice and them, they will have that weekend for them. That's
because
why
they have a unit.
Exactly, they have a unit with DJs and people involved.
Yeah, like when they had artists team with Marshall.
Right, exactly. And then Ding Dong, that's why you can't fight Dong, because Dong was a
Yeah.
successful DJ, right? And he was on the ground, so he knew the song people was looking for.
That's right.
Exactly.
He picking songs based on themes and melodies that will work.
That will work. And so Dong just implemented. Right? So that's just one of the things that one the producer sometimes doesn't want to hear the feedback from the DJs or whatever. And then sometimes as I say the artists come late and some of them are afraid to deal with the producer for whatever reason. And I guess sometimes you could produce again, man, blind. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
And
Yeah. They're coming back and you're playing again.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, boy, listen, this was a joy, We would end up talking for 4 or 5 hours easily. That is my fault.
I do
my
know
apologies.
how long we talking now, to be honest.
Well, the thing about it is this: as much as I talk about the Alternative Perspective podcast and appreciating all the fellas' efforts, I know things just ebb and flow. I mean, time has come. I'm still waiting to see Jude. I put it down as Jude ducking his smoke today. That's why he ain't come. You know what I mean? Whether it's true or not, you're wrong with that. And if that's the case, I could be the new Jude. I can't do what Jude is do, but I could be present to make sure that you keep coming back out in any podcast space. You need it. Your voice needed.
I really looking at coming back out March after Canaval.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
Because now the reason we stop is no longer there.
Got you.
So
All
March.
right, good. Well, listen, whenever you're coming back out, come back through. We talk about it.
Yeah, man.
And I want to be your first guest when you come back out.
Sure.
We can do that?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. So salute. Thanks very much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, man.